Hello friends, and welcome to Storytime with Teacher Julian. Guess what? I've got the coolest book today. Our book is Corduroy by Don Freeman. But hey, wait a second. You're going to say, didn't we read that before, Teacher Julian? Well, I think you must be talking about this book, A Pocket for Corduroy. Oh, we read this one 3 times already, and now, zoinks, we're going to read Corduroy. This is the original one. I am very excited to read this. I just picked it up, and it's an excellent book. All right, let's get started. Corduroy. I want to say right there, those are the overalls that Corduroy wears. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things. But no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Can you spot him? There he is. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost a button on one of his shoulder straps." Look at that. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight, I'll go and see if I can find it." There's on the shelf. Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Can you see the button anywhere? Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator, and up he went. Could this be a mountain, he wondered? I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. So an escalator, you usually have those in stores, and they'll take you, escalate means to take you up, but they also take you down. So these are stairs that move. That's an escalator. He stepped off the escalator as it reached to the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was a most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "This must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." So a palace is somewhere like maybe a king or a queen, princesses. They would live in a castle or a palace. It's kind of fancy too. He wandered around, admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And he crawled onto the large, thick mattress. All at once, he saw something small and round. "Why, there's my button," he cried. He tried to pick it up. But, like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. See him yanking on it right there? He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! He fell into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. So when it says that he toppled, it means that he fell, he fell off, or he tumbled. Toppled and tumbled means falling. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going on his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." When it said that he exclaimed something, it means he said it kind of loudly or with a little bit of force. Like he would say, "Now who in the world did that?" That's exclaiming something. He flashed his light under the sofa and the beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" You see his little ears? Yoink. What's going to happen next? The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with all the other dolls and animals. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." So when it says that the first customers that showed up at the store, those are the first people that are there to buy things. Like Lisa, she's ready to buy with Corduroy with her piggy bank money. She's now a customer. She's shopping. "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the sales lady asked. "Oh, no thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight into her own room. Look at how she's holding him here. And look at the look on her face right there as she's running. What do you think? How does she feel about Corduroy? Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed, just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." Let's take a look at the bed. And look at his little dinky bed right here. Just for him. And look, she is sewing on his button right there. You must be a friend, said Corduroy. I've always wanted a friend. Me too, said Lisa, and gave him a big hug. I think that tells it all, my friends. Look at his face. They're bestest of friends now. The end. There's the back of the book. Lisa and Corduroy with a little small bed. Excellente. That's our book, Corduroy. Excellent. I'm so glad I found this book. It makes me happy. So friends, you saw in the earlier part of the book when they were shopping and Mom saw that Corduroy's overalls were missing a button. He says, it doesn't look new, and wanted to pass on him. But then you saw at the end of the book, oh my goodness, Lisa is repairing the button on his overalls and making it easier for him so his strap stays in place. My question for you is, has anybody ever fixed something like something that you're wearing? Perhaps a pair of pants. You were running and you fall, and maybe you tore your pants a little bit. Has anybody ever sewn up your pants or put a patch on the knee? Maybe you popped a button on your pants and it flew off, like Corduroy's missing a button, and then somebody goes and gets that button and sews it back on your pants. Has that ever happened to you? What about like maybe your favorite shirt gets a slight tear in it and somebody can get a needle and thread and stitch up that small little rip in your shirt? Talk to your family. Ask them. See, has anybody ever repaired anything for me? Fixed a piece of clothing that I own? All right, my friends. That's all I have. I hope you enjoyed the book. I enjoyed reading it to you. And until next time, I'm going to say goodbye.